Hello world, you're watching 80s Music Twin Ranked. I'm Joel.
I'm Chris, and today we are doing Leonard Skinner. Just kidding. 38 special. But there's a connection.
Right. And last week he said it was nothing special, so you just offended a bunch of people that love Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
And even that statement with the right band is a lie because they're 38 special. Which means it's in their name.
It wasn't truth, it was just hints.
Right. Okay, it's a hint. So, anyways, I was looking at to see if we had any ties between 38 Special and Mr. Mister. I think there might be two. Okay, see, can you think of any?
No.
Okay, Murder.
Murder?
So you remember we were talking last week about Is It Love? You remember that?
Yeah,
video?
and I watched the video again after you said that, and I'm like, I'm not sure the murder actually happened because she got in the car after the party, which the guy who got murdered, he was right there. And I'm like,
you know what? I can't follow that video.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not
I'm
even
not
sure
sure
which guy they didn't.
the murder might have been in her mind, like what she wanted to do.
But she, according to her, she murdered. But then you go to 38 Special, and if I'd been the one.
Okay.
She shot somebody and burned the house down. Murder. Okay, so
what's the second one?
The second one is okay. So this ties into. Remember, you said the video that mentions Mr. Mister from Train, right?
Yeah.
He says, "What's the lyric?"
Hey, soul sister.
Isn't that Mr. Mister on
On
the
the
radio?
radio, yeah.
Guaranteed. Didn't say this last week. Guaranteed. The song he's referring to is either Broken Wings or Curie because they don't play anything else. Right? Hence the tie to them. They only play two songs. Two songs. Play something else.
Not a tie.
That's a tie.
There's a lot of bands you can say that they only play two songs.
That's actually a tie all through every single video we make. Is that they don't play enough of the songs.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'd like to hear something besides "Hold On Loosely" and
Yeah.
"Caught Up in You."
We'd like to hear them because, again, we say 80s music rocks. Not all their songs rocks.
and,
We're playing just the songs you want to play. But the other stuff that was also on the radio.
Those qualify as 80s songs. I think only one of their songs was not 80s. Well, two, actually. "Rockin' Into the Night" was
yeah, but
79.
I'm saying play the other songs. They were also put out in the 80s, and they're also good.
So, all we know is radios lie. They're radios are what is the media. So.
Yeah. So this is our number 37th band, not our 38th, which would have been cool, but off by one. Missed it by that much.
What's that from? Okay, so
That's a 60s show.
So Leonard Skinner has Ronnie Van Zant, right?
Right.
And 38 Special has Donnie,
and
they do have a third brother.
Younger brother
named
was Johnny. Yeah, now Ronnie died in a plane crash with some other members of Leonard Skinner.
Right,
And
1977.
Because that plane crash after, there was other stuff that happened with Leonard Skinner. They're dubbed the unluckiest band in the world, I think.
Were they really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but their oldest brother died, and he was the main singer you hear in all their songs on the radio. The younger brother,
They didn't
Johnny.
continue, did they? Leonard Skinner.
The younger brother, Johnny, took over as main singer for Leonard
I
Skinner.
didn't read about them.
You don't hear any of their. If they have any new stuff, you don't hear them.
No, you wouldn't.
But a couple weeks ago, I was thinking of her 38 Special. Who do they remind me of? And I was like, they remind me of Leonard Skinner, like an 80s version of Leonard Skinner. And here, they have a connection. I had no idea until we looked up. So
Yeah. And they got really only two songs that I know from them, right? They sing "Sweet Home Alabama," right?
Leonard Skinner.
Right.
Yeah. They got lots.
And Freebird.
That's all you know.
That's all I can recall. Do they?
3 Steps.
Did they Taking Care of Business? Is that with them?
No,
Or not somebody
No,
else?
that's Buckner Turner Overdrive.
Okay.
Nah, I could be wrong on that.
You're probably right. But yeah, but I'm not a big fan of Leonard Skinner. I don't know that I ever was.
Yeah,
They're a
give me
70s
3 Steps. They have one called Saturday Night Special,
Okay.
which is funny because they have 38 Special. I think they're both.
That is funny. So, and another cool thing about them is they got two lead singers. Really, one guy, not Donnie Van Zant, but Don Barnes. They got a Don and a Donnie.
Yeah.
So, the Barnes, the guy who's not the brother, is the singer of all the hits.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
But he left the band, and there was another one that took over.
Max Carl or Carl Max, I can't remember. I think it's Max Carl.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and he, no, not him. Actually, the drummer left too at the same time. And a new guy came in, Chauncey somebody or other. And he co-wrote I want to go back for Eddie Money. So you mentioned Eddie Money.
So they had 2 songs for movies. They had Back to Paradise for Revenge of the Nerds Part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2.
Which I used to think that was a better movie than the first one.
Yeah. They also had a song called Teacher Teacher for the movie Teachers with Nick Nolte. And obscure movie now. It's like, what are you talking about? But back then it was, had MTV videos showing movie clips through the
one
video.
thing I miss about MTV is watching a song on MTV and getting to see video clips. I like Teachers, with Teacher, because it has a part where they stop and then they got the crash, and it's the same time when Ralph Macchio hits the fire alarm like this.
Oh yeah,
The drum beat. So it's kinda cool.
Okay, the Teacher was co-written by Bryan Adams.
Bryan Adams, yes. A lot of their 38 Special songs were written by Survivor members.
Yeah.
I don't know which members, obviously not the singers. But, and I think which song, Rockin' Into the Night, interesting, was originally supposed to be a Survivor song.
Yes, and they didn't want it, and they gave it to 38 Special.
And it doesn't sound like it.
So 38 Special, wonder if they would have been a big band had it not been for Leonard Skinner and his big brother. His big brother, after they were out for a couple of years just playing stuff, and the big brother's like, okay, you paid your dues, and he introduced them to a record producer, and then they started doing albums.
Yeah, so.
Wonder if they would have been big if that hadn't happened.
I mean, there is a saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know sometimes. So he had a brother he knew.
Yeah. Did you see who they opened for it at one point?
Kiss. And
also who opened for them?
Huey Lewis and Bon Jovi.
Huey Lewis just as sports was coming out.
Right.
So.
And that's kind of a weird connection, too.
It is. I don't see.
I mean, on sports, he does have a countryish song, Honky Tonk Blues. So that's like, play something for us. And they played that because they were Southern. Well, okay, you can come with us. And then they go on tour and they're like, that's not what we heard.
Yeah, so the 38 Special is a gun, and 38 is the caliber, and it's the most popular. I guess it's a most popular gun because it's the most accurate, and it was used in all the wars like World War I, II, Vietnam, Korean War, for all the military.
So you actually researched the gun?
Yeah, so that's why it's called 38 Special. But this actually it's the 38 caliber. Is 38 Special might have been Smith & Wesson.
But their story was they were practicing.
They were practicing in a warehouse,
and
the police came. They had complaints of noise. They're probably playing too loud.
Why were they locked in though?
That's what I want to know. When they got there, that means if the police didn't show up, they would have been stuck. They had a padlock.
So somebody pranked them. And
somebody locked them in. Yeah. So
they're fine. You want to play?
The police are telling them to come out. They're like, we can't because the door's locked. They had a padlock on the outside. The police are like, back up. We got this with our 38 Special. And that's when they named themselves. They didn't have a name at the time. So. Yeah, I'm wondering if the police ain't going like, the band suffocated after 3 days with no food or, not suffocated, but no food or water. They all died.
Speaking of deaths, so we already had bands like the Cars.
Yeah.
The 2 members of the band that are no longer alive were the 2 singers. This band, the 2 members that are no longer alive, both played bass. So on the first album, there was a guy that played the bass. He left the band like immediately.
Did you see it? There that bass player. I think the bass player you're talking about left just before they got famous.
Yeah, I know. So then the bass player that replaced him was from Leonard Skinner. Obviously not on the plane, and he died a few years ago. So
now their last name is Van Zers. I wonder if they're related to
Steven.
I
don't know if it's.
I didn't check that out. Probably not.
No. Okay, so. In your mind, can you think, here's another on-the-spot thing, can you think of any other famous siblings of 2 separate bands?
There are some out there.
Now, band-wise, I don't think it's true, but obviously there's Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson. They're separate careers, but it's not band lead singers. But I don't know.
There are some out there. You put me on the spot, I can't think of any of them. If I looked them up, I could probably find something.
The Wahlbergs? You got Donnie, he was
Marky Mark. They were in bands, they're actors now.
Marky Mark and Donnie. And yeah, other than that, I couldn't tell you. But I would imagine these would be the two most famous, at least for people that were in our time period.
All right.
Okay, so two things. Okay, last week I said this will be our third Southern sounding band, which is wrong. Okay, I was only thinking of Tom Petty, John Cougar Mellencamp. And I look back at my list and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about these guys. Eagles obviously started out Southern sounding, and ZZ Top. You listen to LaGrange, you like
they were from Texas. I think
yeah, Texas band. So I was wrong. There's my misinformation being spread again. But you know, what's the one thing? The one thing you and I should like about 38 Special.
You tell me. I guess could be a whole bunch of things.
They have two drummers.
Oh, okay.
What other band uses two drummers? Now I can think of some, not on the album itself. And do they even sound like they need two drums? You listen to their songs.
No, it sounds
are
like
they
one
flashy enough to even require two drummers? But it's cool to see two drummers on the stage. But Genesis, only when Phil Collins goes back to the drum and Chester Thompson and him compete. That's not really playing on full songs, just through drum solos. And then I think I recall seeing a Doobie Brothers concert where somebody's on the drum set and then you got another guy playing the bongos, which is actually percussion, not really a drummer. But it's still cool. Bongos are bongos. But I can't think of anything else like that where you got two drummers.
Yeah, okay, so the first hit was
Rockin' Into the
Night. Rockin' Into the
Which you don't even have in your top 10.
Yeah, well, I don't care for it. It's I mean, I'll listen to it, but yeah. I don't know.
Interestingly, I have the same thing about one of yours.
I think it's because the way they do rock, it's choppy. I'm like, I want something that's kind of smooth and
maybe I can see that. Yeah, I think I've been re-ranking my songs. I ranked some a year ago, and I re-rank them just to make sure I'm correct. And then I re-rank them. I put the two together and re-rank them again.
So, well, again, we do that. You can do it
every week. It could
every
change.
week.
Yes, yeah. I know that. Okay, so on the flip side, the song you like that I don't, "Second Chance," which is their highest ranked hit, and it's not even from the original.
It's a different thing, right? I remember now. I was going to college when that one came out, and I remember I would drive to college and I'd hear it all the time.
Now that guy put out 2 singles. "Sound of Your Voice," I really like, and you don't like that one, but it made our top 10. Yes. As far as videos go, one of the few bands I know where they put a video out, 2 videos actually. They got a video and then a sequel to the video, and then here's another new one and then a sequel to it, right? So the one we like growing up was "Back Where You Belong."
Yeah, and it's real. It's corny and just stupid. I rewatch. I'm like, all they're doing is this girl. She's wanted. They're part of the cops. And they're all following her together.
Right.
That's what really does. They're like right behind her.
If you're detectives, you're not all going in a group somewhere.
But yeah, it's corny because the guy up front is like, okay, here she is. She's dangerous and wanted, and they all take out pictures and look, and they're all together like she was dating each one of them. I'm like, really? They had to take a picture out to confirm that's like you don't remember?
Let alone the fact that they're all dating her. And the others don't know it?
Yeah, like they wouldn't be talking to each other.
And if they're going around in a group, hey, why are you chasing her? Well, she's my girlfriend. She's my girlfriend, and then you separate for sure. Then there's another song that's not famous at all. The One and Only Times or something like I can't even remember what it's called because it's that bad. But it was a sequel. They were detectives again. New girl came. And in that video...
it did say at the end of the Back to Where You Belong... After she did the motorcycle jump and took off, it said to be continued.
Oh, did it? Yeah, that's right. You're right. I forgot about that one. And then the sequel from earlier was "Caught Up in You." If you watch that video, at the end of it, if you watch the very next video, the one that you like,
"Caught Up in You" is on a TV screen.
Right. You keep running, caught up, and it's the girl from the previous. She's leaving the hotel room. Yeah, I don't care for that series because.
Now the video I remember seeing all the time was the one with the horses running called
If I'd Been the One.
Now here's the thing: when they get to the chorus,
it's what? Why'd they drop?
What
the
if I'd been the one who? Okay,
why'd they drop the what?
Yeah, it says what, and on the title is just "If I'd Been the One." kind of changes the meaning slightly.
Slightly, yeah.
It reminds me of Billy Squires in the Dark. Because if you remember that song, here in the dark is what he says all the time.
He does.
They drop the here and but in the dark. I'm trying to think if there's other songs where they took one word away just to do the title.
I know there's got to be, but yeah, why do you do that? Like, shorten the title. They drop one word. No, it's perfect.
Well, I was thinking of yes, as it can happen. That they say it can happen too, but there is times where they just say it can happen.
Right.
I think that's why
Yeah,
you can't use that.
I don't know. So yeah, I always wonder how you choose the title. Some people make it the first line in the chorus part. Some make it the first line of the song. How do you choose a title? All right,
So caught up in you,
yeah.
little girl.
That has got to be the worst part of that song. And the fact that is one of the songs that continually plays makes it even
Now I understand back then. You know, it could have been somebody in their 20s, but they, hey, little girl, it's just a term of endearment, I guess. You're not really, I'm not little.
sounds to me like this guy should be on To Catch a Predator. Which was also a cool series.
And then the other song that's always played on the radio, Hold On Loosely,
But Don't Let Go.
Don't Let Go. I always picture like a rope. Whoa, there it goes. I wasn't holding on tightly enough.
Obviously, it depends on what you're holding.
Yeah.
Like if you're hanging from a helicopter, it better be tightly. I know. I mean, the next line, because it says, "But if you cling too tightly,"
Yeah.
and I forget
You're
what's
going to lose
after-
control.
You're going to lose control. There you go. So that's why, obviously.
Yeah, and I'm sure it has to do with relationships.
Yeah.
And not being so clingy.
Right, or yeah, like okay, so you like what's the show we watch over there, Goldbergs, right?
Right.
And he calls him mom, smother.
Oh, yeah.
Not mother, but smother because she's holding on too tightly. Okay, so I think that might be it. No Weird Al.
They do have a Christmas
They do have a Christmas album. I didn't change this.
And not only that, there was a Christmas song they put out together with Leonard Skinner.
Was it Don Barnes? He was the one with all the hits. He left.
Yeah.
And then the new guy took over. In the later albums, he did come back. So I don't know who sang on the Christmas album. Maybe both.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like one of their last albums, if not their last.
How do you feel? Now, we did a band where there's two singers, and it reminds me of the Cars actually. So you got two singers.
Yeah.
Donnie Van Zant's got the famous brother, and yet the other guy has all the hits. It probably feels like Benjamin Orr from the Cars. Rick Casey's got all the hits. I don't know. All right, should we go ahead? So we did movies. You did the two movies.
Yeah.
You've never seen Teachers?
I've never seen Teachers, but you said you've seen it.
It's good. And, I mean, Richard Mulligan probably steals the show.
Yeah.
Because he's crazy in that one. So, R.I.P. Richard Mulligan. He's dead, right?
Yeah, he's gone.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the top 10.
10.
Before we get to the top 10, we switched the board, but if you rewind and look, you'll see that they incorporated their name in their albums, which is kind of cool. Two albums had the
I
words.
really like the one where it can't quite. It's not obvious it's a 38.
Yeah.
It just looks like half circles.
I know, but I'm talking about like Special Delivery,
All right.
Special Forces, and then Strength in Numbers. Talk about the 38.
Oh, okay.
So kind of cool that they do that. Now, as far as I mentioned multiple drummers, okay, the reason you should have got that because when we were in marching band, at least for
We played no 38
one
special.
show, we didn't play 38 special, but for one show, our drum corps set up drum kits along
Yeah.
the front, and we all played a song called "Sing Sing Sing," but it was together. It's kind of cool when you see them all.
Was it Sing 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 or Swing Swing Swing? No, I guess it was Sing Sing.
I think it was "Sing Sing Sing," but we scrapped each of us being able to do a drum solo because that was going to fall apart. Right? Remember they were going.
They
were gonna
had
go
us
down the
all,
line.
they had us all practice. I remember they had us practice in each drummer, and based on that, they gave us an extra time at the dance. Remember that?
Yeah.
If we did good.
But yeah, the drum, we didn't do the drum solo live because it was gonna fail.
Yeah.
Go down the line, we'd play our drum and then we go like this to the next drummer.
Yeah. We didn't have our own drum set at that point, I don't think. I think we got it after.
Yeah, right. We had
We
to borrow.
We had to borrow
It was
drums.
poor. Okay, to the list. Okay, so honorable mention. We each lost a song. I mentioned that I liked "Rockin' Into the Night." That's the song I lost. And then you lost "You Keep Running Away." Even watching the video, it wasn't.
You keep running.
I
keep running.
vaguely thought that was familiar. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't remember if I've ever heard that on the radio, so I ranked it low. So that's the one you lost. All right, number 10 is one of these songs that the new guy sang, and it's similar to that as well because you don't like this like I do. I watched it. I like it better than Second Chance. Second Chance, slow. So, but that was their highest ranked song. That was even higher. What was the first one that was ranked high? Caught Up in You, I think, was ranked number 10. So these guys really only had 2 songs in the top 10. Everything else below. And I think 2 songs didn't even chart, including our number 1. Okay, so number 10 is from Bone Against Steel. That's a
Bone Against Steel.
nice album title, right? Think the movie Saw. As he tried to cut his leg off at the end. It's Bone Against Steel.
Which it's like a versus. Which one's gonna win? Duh.
The steel. Yeah. Well, is there some? Unless you're Superman. I mean, there's jokes. Three Stooges, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm always trying to cut Curly's head. And
Yeah, and they pull it away, and the blades are all crooked. Yeah.
Okay, that's the only time they win. All right. So, anyways, The Sound of Your Voice. Only song that they made really outside of the 80s. 1991, this came out. I have it as high as number 6. You have it at 13. Next one up, the little girl song, Caught Up in You.
The
Little girl. That,
good thing they didn't title it that.
and of all of the nonsense going around our world, you would think they'd stop playing that song for that reason.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right? Okay, so Caught Up in You, that came from Special Delivery, I believe, the first one. You have that at number 8. I have it at number 9. No, it's not from Special Delivery, it's from Special
Yeah,
Forces.
in case you guys, I already know without seeing the list.
Yes.
Caught Up in You and Hold On Loosely are not going to be high because they are overplayed.
Yeah. If they would throw in one of the other songs occasionally, I might like those songs better, but they don't. They're the only 2 you hear. Now, Caught Up in You actually it's
Still good songs.
from Special Forces, and to my knowledge, that's their highest selling album as well. And it only has that song and another song on it. They didn't put very many hits out on each album. It's like 2. I don't even know what my favorite is. It's probably going to be between Tour de Force and Strength in Numbers.
I don't have a favorite.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pick one because I'm not. I didn't have any of their albums.
I know, I didn't either. So, here's my album. It's the soundtrack. The soundtrack songs. Flashback, the greatest hits. Again, it's not a studio album, so it doesn't qualify, but that's what I would do. Okay, so Caught Up in You. I had this at 8. You had it at 9. Next one up comes from, what is that? Rock and Roll Strategy. What's a rock and roll strategy?
Playing the songs good. I don't know. Do your best.
These can't suck. All right. So Second Chance is at number 8, and you have this at 6. So you have it like my Max Carl song, but I have this at 11, a little higher than you have that other one. So. All right. Next one up, Hold On Loosely from Wild Eyed Southern Boys. You have this at 8. I have it at 7. Enough said. Move on from that song. Next one up. This song did not even rank in the top 40, I don't believe, which is incredible to me. It's Somebody Like You. Now, you remember you said that one song was kind of... you said you like the other songs that are simple. Not Rock and Roll Strategy. It was chaotic. You like it was more simple. Somebody Like You is simple. Think about this.
Now, is
really
is
simple.
it just me, or do you hear when the guitar string kind of like? Do you hear that when they play?
I don't think I do.
Okay, I can hear a high pitch when I can hear a little thing at the same time. So
Now the video is shown where they're like in concert.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool video. Even though it's in concert, and I'll tell you what, I don't know if it would be the same if it's live. You know what they do when they're on stage? Constantly moving that camera
Oh, yeah.
to make it seem like it's more
Well,
exciting than it actually is.
that's just we on TV. That way, we're not bored.
Right. But
doesn't
I like the outfit. The guy he looks more clean shaven because his hair's cut. You know, he doesn't have that sloppy hair that he has in most of his other videos.
That was another thing with the video. Back to where you belong.
Right.
Is in the beginning when they're showing this is the culprit and they're showing the room full of cops. It is obvious which ones are band members because everybody else has short, nice hairstyles. The other ones are like
Yeah, and well, they're detectives. Were the others detectives?
like
or
you're supposed to be
cops?
undercover, I suppose.
Yeah. How many detectives does a police department have?
I
Isn't
don't
that many? And would you assign 6 detectives?
No, it doesn't
per
have to be
case?
all detectives. They could be just on the police force.
Okay. All right. So somebody like I actually have this one ranked at 10 because of how simple it is. Believe it or not, I do like it, but I still have it ranked below. Why I have it below? Hold on, loosely and caught up in you is beyond me. Come to think of it, probably because I didn't want to be biased toward all the new stuff. Maybe I don't know. But you have this as high as number 3. So hindsight, I probably should put this higher. But I still think it'd be ranked at 5 because the other 5 we really like. Number 5, and that came from Strength in Numbers. Next one up comes from Tour de Force. That's If I'd Been the One. They got the horses in the video.
If I'd been the one.
What if I'd been the one? Well, there is another song. Oh, I think it's going to come on Jefferson Starship, where it seems like when you write the title, you should be adding a word, but
Okay.
it's not actually there. I can't think of what the title is right now. When this is off, I'll show you. Okay, so if I been, both of us put this at number 5. So then somebody like you was off by 3 digits. I think even if I brought it up, it'd only go up by 3 notches. Okay, next one up is Teacher Teacher. I like this so much. It's at number 2. Like I said, I like the soundtrack.
And I was listening to them today. I'm like, probably should have put that higher. It seems like.
Well, and to me, the video, it's like one of those things. Does the video, not so much the movie, but the video makes the song better.
You know what I thought though, because they do put movie clips into the video. They're so quick. Like, Brad, was that a clip? I don't.
And you know what? That's how they always have been. But movies have now adopted that. Movies didn't used to be like that. They'd stay on a scene for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's like
Yeah.
every half a second the camera's
Everybody makes. There's a movie clip. There's a video clip they'll show you. Liam Neeson in Taken 3. I think it's Taken 3.
right.
Where he's jumping a fence.
And they show you
And there's
how
like
many-
100 cuts just from jumping a fence.
Yeah, you can't follow anything. It's really a ripoff when somebody's fighting. You can't even tell who's connecting with who.
Oh right, there's a movie just came out. The Northman just came out, and
Who's in it?
The guy who played Tarzan. Alexander Skarsgård. It's a revenge flick, but the guy that reviewed it says the fight scenes they're not quick cuts, so you can actually see.
Well, that's why.
We like
That's why there's such a high fan base now for John Wick.
Yeah.
Because you see everything. There's no cuts.
I remember when The Dark Knight came out.
Yeah.
And there was that scene where it was the mayor, it was the mayor, the corrupt mayor, and
Okay.
all the goons at night, and they were like in between 2 trucks, and
Oh yeah.
Christian Bale's just you can't see anything, and how do I know he's hitting the guys?
I know. Yeah. That's one of the bad things about movies now, and the other is shooting everything in the dark where you can't see.
So that is why children have ADHD,
ADHD.
whatever that is. It's because of all these quick cuts on television, movies,
Right.
video games.
Now their attention span used to be like what, 15 minutes. Now it's like 2.
2 seconds.
So, anyways, teacher, I've ranked at 2. You have ranked
Yeah, another
at
rabbit trail.
7. All right, next. All right, so I can't find that song that I had missing word. I don't
That's
know
all
what it is. All right, number 3 comes from Tour de Force, and that is Back Where You Belong. Both of us, just like If I'd Been the One, we agree it's number 4. So we some reason like this song better.
Yeah,
than
and
that song.
I
Both of
think
us-
I think we raised it up because we liked the video.
Yeah.
I'm thinking if it didn't have that video, we might not have ranked this as high.
No, but yeah. Obviously, it's got the better video. Who wants to watch horses? Even though the girl burns a barn down and kills somebody. Maybe the detective should have killed somebody. I don't know.
I mean, yeah,
Or she should have.
when she jumped, when she did the jump on a motorcycle,
Right.
if her motorcycle exploded, maybe.
Right. Or if she took.
If she died,
she should have taken them out one by one. While they were looking for her. While they were looking for
no,
her.
they were all chasing her. What if something happened where then she tried to jump, she crashed, and she's lying there dying, and then they all would have been feeling bad because they're the one that caused her death.
That's right. They did. Okay, so that's number 3. Next one up comes from Strength in Numbers, and I'll just say because that one's too high. This is their best album, and this one has like
We're
another.
basing it on 2 songs.
Right. This one has like no other night. Yeah, it doesn't have a third song, does it? Somebody Like You and No Other Night, and I don't know.
Yeah, I really, you know what I like about this song is that it starts out like it's a slow song.
Right.
I really like that.
And then da 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 da. Yeah, and this one, at least in the video, showcases the fact that there was 2 drummers.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know why they need 2 drummers. Nothing fancy happening. But you have this ranked at number 2, and I have it ranked at number 3. So we obviously both like this one better than that other one. And that means our number 1 song comes from
A movie.
a movie. Like a lot of the songs, a lot of the ones we agree on always
Yeah.
come from a movie, and
Yeah.
that would be Back to Paradise from the awesome movie Revenge of the Nerds Part 2.
Did you see? Now they had. I know there's a part 3.
There's a bunch of there. And
Did you see more than the first 2?
No, I've never watched any of the others, and I
I
think
might have saw the third one.
later in the sequel, the main character became the guy who played Booger, Curtis Armstrong.
Yeah.
He was like the main character. And here's a couple. Okay, but in the first movie, they had songs, but they weren't meant for the movie. This one that was specifically meant for the movie.
Yeah.
We're actually going to do. Is it next week? Queen. Queen's next week. It's next week.
Starship.
Yeah, let me. You tell me. One
I thought
page.
Starship was first. Oh yeah.
Queen. So our next artist had the song from the first Revenge of the Nerds. How about that for a tie? And we didn't even realize it till just now. And did they do both songs, "We Will Rock You" or just "We Are the Champions" in that movie at the end?
Oh, I don't remember.
I think it was "We Are the Champions."
I'm just saying on the radio they can't separate the 2.
They can't well, I've heard it separated, but you shouldn't separate the 2. That's what I think. Although he didn't play both of them in Live Aid.
Because they are very short songs if you play them one and one. Probably only 2 minutes each.
Yeah.
So you have them together just so you have a full.
So, but
full 5 minutes.
they also have that same tie with Queen. They have a song about murder. It's their most famous one.
Yeah, which has a title that is not spoken in the lyrics.
Right.
And actually, if
can you even decipher what that means?
But if you also see, we shouldn't even be talking about this till next week. But if you did the lyrics to that whole song, what would be the title besides? Because there is no really chorus.
And it goes through several different changes. Like
Yeah.
it's not the same song all the way through, which is why it's so long.
There's a couple lines they say twice.
It is an opera. The song is an opera in itself.
It's it would either be called "Nothing Really Matters" or "Any Way the Wind Blows." Those are the 2 lines that are repeated.
Now, where's Bohemia? That's what I want to know. I've never looked that up. It sounds like it's near Samoa.
So that's our top 10 for a 38 special.
Which you disagree with because unless you're like us, where you want the radio to play something else, and you will rank those low.
Yeah, your number 1 and 2 would be "Hold On Loosely" and "Caught Up in You."
And then you're like, what are those other songs?
Yeah. So the question, I guess, the real question is, which one would be number 1? "Caught Up in You" or "Hold On Loosely"?
Both of us put "Hold On Loosely."
I know, but in the world, which one is the bigger?
It's caught up in you, but I don't know why. It shouldn't be. And, because that little girl thing that ruins it. That ruins that song. Why? Stop it. So I'm sure. But next week we get to talk about other fun things because we're talking about Queen.
Queen, yeah.
Which Queen is not a little girl; it's an old woman.
Or could be a man.
Nowadays. All right. So until then, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.